Wake that ass up.
In the morning.
The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ NV, Charlamagne the God. We are the Breakfast Club. We got our special guest host, Lala.
What's up? Good morning.
And we have the cast of Fear in the building.
And the
Families
director.
in the
And the
building.
director.
Yeah.
Deon Taylor, Terrence J, and T.I. Welcome.
Let's get it.
Deon, you done directed movies like The Intruder and Black and Blue and Traffic. Do we still consider you an independent filmmaker?
I have to be because I'm still making them independent, right?
Okay.
Yeah, man. But this.
But Hidden
this-
Empire not no small production company.
Nah, man. I think we've now got our name out there. It ain't so much hidden anymore. But we are still 100% independent and doing our own thing, owning our own films.
All right.
This one's a little bit different though because these two brothers to my left, as well as Joe Sikora, also producers, and also have percentage and ownership in this movie with us. So just a little bit of a different marketing tool we're on now, man. We're doing it from the creative side and the business side,
And
which
King
is really
Batch
dope.
too, right?
King
Yup,
Batch
yup.
as well, yeah.
Well, let's talk about it. For people that don't know what fear is, what is fear? Break down the
It's an
movie.
emotion, right? It's an emotion. that
T.I.
Fear. It's a psychological thriller, man. It taps into the innermost, darkest apprehensions of a group of friends that come to a lodge in the height of the pandemic that just so happens to be haunted. You know, and the spirits that haunt this lodge, they pull out the fears of people and use it against them.
But it's not a scary movie, they're saying. It's not a...
Who said that?
Who said that?
This is a horror thriller.
This is
Man,
scary, bro.
I ain't gonna lie.
No, he said he didn't feel like it was scary to him. He didn't say it wasn't a scary
Because at
movie.
like 33 minutes, that's when I cut it off. I was like, nah.
You cut it off at 33?
About 33 minutes.
Yeah,
I was
you
home
just-
alone at the time. I said, nah, that's all right. About 33 minutes.
Yeah, you did
Wow.
yourself a disservice because you know right at 35, that's when it gets.
I figured that.
That's when it go crazy. Nah, I mean I think you know, man, it's really about people tapping into the things that you know how they talk about self-talk. You're real big on mental health and awareness, and you know how self-talk, the things you think inside your mind are more important than the things you confess outside, you know, with your mouth, and they tap into the things that you feel about yourself.
That's why this is the type of horror movie that I feel like you could only make in 2023 because we ain't scared of no monsters or nothing anymore. We scared of real life and
That's
what's
right.
inside our own head. You know?
And that's what the movie deals with is the manifestation of the consciousness. So inside the film, what happens is all the characters are dealing with something, you know, the most unique thing we have on earth, which is the mind. So whatever it is that you could actually manifest or see, whether that's good or bad, that's actually what you bring into your reality. So the movie is really cool that way. And it's a big conversation piece, man. We've been touring the last week now. We did like 5-6 cities, and every time we screen the movie, it's been like an hour Q&A after every one about what the mind is doing and how it's doing it. And a lot to do with mental illness too, man.
So
like,
important.
you know, so it's dope that way. And the end, I think, is just spectacular, man. Like the message we give, which is, how do you defeat fear? So
And filming this was horrifying. Deon made us sleep on the floor. Like we didn't have no trailers.
Them sleep on the floor.
Damn, T, I got more equity than you too. Oh, no, damn.
Tip lived in a whole other compound.
Hey, look, bro. Hey, man, I told him I would go ref it. I mean, like reffing it for me though. You know what I'm saying? But I will tell you that the lodge we filmed on really is haunted.
Yeah.
And look on it.
No, it is. Dog, the story that they told, that was real shit.
No.
Yeah, that story of that lodge with the killing of the witches and all that shit is real.
Y'all didn't sleep there, though.
Yes.
Y'all
We
slept at
slept
that lodge?
at
In the
the lodge.
lodge?
Yeah, there's this really
that
creepy
lodge
they
lodge.
did.
horrible.
Yes,
We
they
slept.
did.
Crazy.
Yes, they did.
They did.
But nah,
What'd you
really-
see, Terrence? Did you see anything when you was there sleeping?
So I'm not when I pulled up my mattress, there were spiders that came out from the bed. They had to change like the bed that I was in. Like it was
that
terrifying.
was actually a crazy
Yeah,
night.
it was terrifying. It was terrifying.
So you
I
still
mean, I
stayed
know-
there after the spiders came under your mattress?
I'm a method actor, baby.
It's so helpful.
No,
though.
but you got
It really is.
yeah, you guys got to remember
It's
this was
so
this was the first movie that was shot during the pandemic. So we actually went to the CDC and had the conversation with them before they started doing the bubble and all that. We were the first ones to do it. We were actually driving people or driving test results to LA and back every day.
That's how he got us all there.
So
You
that's
know
how
what
we
I'm
were
saying?
able to
'Cause
get there. Joe Sikora drove from New York to Lake Tahoe to do this film. Terrence, Tip, everybody came down and descended into one location so we could make the movie. Originally, I was going to do it with a camera phone, and then I got a little bit more risky and was like, man, I wonder if I could call it a real DP and really shoot this. And so what I think is really great about the film is in between takes, you will see, when you go see the movie, why it's called Fear is because you could really see every actor in there really dealing with something. Because this is at a time where we didn't know. So now everybody's cool, now everybody tough, now everybody know everything. But this is when we were watching CNN and 10,000 bodies every day. We were saying, you know what I mean? It's that moment. So to be able to do that film during that time, and shout out to Roxanne, man, for producing the film during
Absolutely.
that. But we did it, man. And now to have a movie that looks like this and feels like this, fresh, new, it's pretty dope.
That's dope.
And that's how he got us all there because, you know, he called me and said, hey, man, I'm going to shoot a movie. I said, man, ain't nobody shooting no movie. He said, nah, I'm going to shoot a movie. I said, all right, when? He said, like, Thursday. I'm like, huh? All right. And that's what happened. We just, I mean, really, it was as I guess, as spontaneous as it sounds, that's exactly how it went down. And as soon as I showed up, I saw Terrence. And it ain't like, you know, I got to show up and prepare and go to wardrobe. It was like I showed up, hey, what you wearing right now? Hell yeah, let's go. First scene's coming right up. The campfire scene, that was like 30 minutes after I got there.
You got there.
Really?
But I love that. I love that. There's such a grittiness and it's so authentic when it's done that way. Like when you just in the trenches shooting a movie, it's a labor of love. Everybody's just putting their best foot forward. It's not about the hair, the makeup, the clothes. It's really about just digging in and getting into.
And you got to be
the
a
character.
beast to do that.
Yeah.
He
Deon
a
is
dog.
different.
So you thought to yourself, Deon, let's use no budget whatsoever.
Well, that's what the film represented was the moment in time we were in. So even when Tip got there, I went
come close to the mic.
Right, you know, right when he got there and I looked at him, I was like, that's it. This is the moment. This is what he looks like. You know what I mean? And yeah, no budget at all. You know, what we were trying to do was just be raw and be ugly and capture what it felt like during that time. But the twist is when you go to the theater, you'll understand where we're going with this because like I said, fear is a powerful emotion, and it could manifest in a very, very hurtful way. So what I thought was really cool about the movie is as we keep growing it and growing it, I was saying this the other day, like during that time and even now, like you feel like, oh man, I feel like I got a little thing right here. You go online, you start searching, you go down the rabbit hole for you didn't diagnose yourself on
you're about to die.
on
Absolutely.
WebMD.
I do it all the time.
Right? So you be like, I got this. And so this energy is in this film, right? How we perceive television is in this film. How we perceive everything that we consume and how we regurgitate it is in this film.
Now you talk about the campfire scene. That's the scene where you guys start talking about your fears.
Yep.
So let me ask you guys, in real life, what is your biggest fear? Start with you, TJ.
My biggest fear is just not maximizing my full potential. You know, waking up an old man and looking back and feeling like I left something on the table. And so that's why every morning I get up, I'm like, you know, I don't want to leave anything behind in this life, you know, so that would probably be it.
Is that why you let Neil Long walk in front of you in Dubai? What? You don't want to leave him behind?
You want to leave him behind?
What was it?
Nothing romantic. Neil Long is my sister.
No,
That's
Neil Long.
family. That's
I told you that was
That's
a
my
good
sister.
discussion, bro.
No, that's
I
like
told
my
you that.
sister. How did this even go left? That's like my family. When you see Neil
That's what the
Long,
blog
when you
said.
see Lala, you gotta open the doors. You know what I'm saying? Neil Long is a national treasure. She must be protected at all costs. You know?
Now, what about you, T.I., your biggest fear?
I think my biggest fear, man, you know, is not being able to be there for my kids and my loved ones when they depending on me, when they need me. And not even just not be there physically, like, you know, just not be here to guide them and direct them and, you know, offer my I guess, experience, knowledge or wisdom for them to get through whatever they might be challenged with. I think that's my biggest fear.
Deon?
I think I'm in the same boat. I think time. I think my biggest fear is like constantly trying to wonder if I'm going to be here in 10, 12, 13, 14 years for my kids. Like, I'm like, man, I want to be here when they turn. And that's something that I keep on messing with, and that's something you got to not do. You got to live in the moment right now and understand that every day is a blessing versus you trying to live for what 2030 gonna feel like. You know what I mean? So it would be time for me. And what's crazy is we deal with all this in the film.
Wow.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about the movie, you did the whole airborne virus that got people stuck in the house, you know what I mean? But then also, I'm not going to give it away, but there was a lot of people who committed suicide during that time. When was all of that? Did y'all tape all of that during that 1 year? Or was that stuff y'all did after the fact?
We did it all in the 15 days we were there.
Wow.
So we were really ahead of
Covered a lot.
that moment.
Yeah.
That's why I keep telling, that's why the movie is being received the way it is, because what you just hit on, which is we were actually ahead of that curve a little bit, where we were like, man, just thinking it out loud, like Tip, Terrence, you know what I mean? Like how it happens is pretty dope.
Is your
think it was
mind
what,
always
July?
on? Oh, go ahead, Tip.
What was it, like July 2020?
Yeah.
We did it.
Yeah.
Yeah, so,
So
it
we
was
took
like
a
right
If
there.
long
everything
time to
started
cut.
hitting the fan around
Yeah.
March, April.
February is when it started going
Yeah, February,
crazy,
yeah.
and then
Yeah.
July was.
And back to what you was asking about budget, we put all the money on the screen. So it's like, when he asks you to participate in something like that, you want to get paid 6 figures to be in it, or you want to invest 6 figures and have a seat at the table. And so that's the beauty of what Deon's created with this is we're, producers, complete profit participation. And I love that because it's all about, bossing up. It's all about us working together. It's not reaching up. There's no studio handing us down money. It's completely self-financed.
But it doesn't look independent. For anybody out there,
it looks
does
great.
not look independent.
It looks great. It
Like
looks
if they
great.
didn't tell me that right now, I would have
wouldn't know.
never thought that watching
It
it.
feels
Like,
Get Out-ish now that I think about it. That's why, the people in Get Out, the actors, they got
they throw a shot at Get Out in the
Your,
movie.
They
your,
got
mouth
equity.
your mouth to God is, you know what I'm saying?
Terrence, they
Come
threw a
on.
little. Is this Get Out? And in the movie, a little bit.
Lil Rel told me they bought his check with a armored truck on a pillow. I'm dead serious. An armored truck on a pillow in a box. His first royalty check from Get Out.
Wow.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah.
But I think like what this represents, I think everyone talks a good game about this black excellence and building our own, but it's very seldom, man, that we actually really work together.
I was gonna say that.
And people don't want to have that conversation about working with people that look just like you, and especially in this industry, man, where people are actually the ones that look like you could be the most cutthroat, and the most people that'll push you away. So very cliquish, you know what I mean? So for us independently, man, I've been, this took us a long time to be able to build this, but now like movies like Black and Blue and Intruder and all these other films we done made. Supremacy, yeah, with Mahershala Ali and Danny Glover. Like now to be able to do it at this level and now also be inclusive and work with other people, this movie could go much further than I could throw it based on the fact that these guys could run faster than me too. You know what I mean? So this should be like the new brand of what we're trying to build in Hollywood, which is really everybody working together and building something and owning something collectively. Not just one person getting rich or getting empowered so if this movie works, we do it again, and then we do it again. And then these guys actually participate because right now no one owns IP.
I was gonna say that's what's so important. And one thing about you, Deon, is you're always about giving those opportunities to people to us, people that understand what our day-to-day lifestyle is like. And I think it's amazing to provide those opportunities to all of us for ownership and just also to kind of, I've learned a lot from you, like just learning from you. And I know just watching how he works is like a master class, and to be able to be a part of that. And then like he said, take that blueprint and do it again and do it again. That's what it's about, providing more opportunities for all of us out there to continue to grow and then put us in position to provide more opportunities for more people.
You got to have that. It's a reason why people are like, man, I haven't seen Jack Nicholson work in 25 years, but he's sitting on the front row of the Lakers game, right? It's because he owns stake and equity in Batman. Keanu Reeves, The Matrix. You know what I mean? So you could go on and on how these guys are able to actually be a part of something, but us, we always get it up front. You know what I mean? And now in this system where everything is streaming and they own everything, you really don't get no IP or equity. So now you're going to get paid all the money right now, and then you're going to watch that for the next 20, 30 years. Your kids going to watch that. So to be able to participate like Rel did in the Get Out or have percentage, I'm sure he didn't invest, but they gave him equity in the movie because he came in a small budget movie. But this is different, man. Like this is ownership. So when you see Fear this weekend in the movie theater, and you're right, it looks fantastic. Shout out to Chris Duskin, the whole VFX team that worked on this. When you see that, just understand when you buy that ticket, it is actually going back to a black production company and back to these guys who put their money up and they own that. So in 5 years from now, when you watch Fear, it's theirs.
So now we could buy some cars for Envy's car show.
Envy.
Some extra cars for the car show.
Loan us
I
cars.
got
some of the
100 cars
property,
that is
man.
right
T.I.
now.
crib. T.I.
Who
got
got the
100
most
cars.
cars?
Got a T.I. and Envy?
Yeah.
T.I.
Nah,
T.I.
hell
T.I.
nah. Hell nah,
T.I.
bro.
I was gonna ask, so were you bored during the pandemic? It was like, I gotta shoot something. I can't just sit on my ass. Like, was that where that thought process came? Because we were all home doing nothing.
Nothing,
No,
man.
Deon was calling everybody. We was on the phone with Charlamagne 6 a.m. every morning. We got to change the world. We gonna do a pro like Deon would be
Yeah,
up
I got
early.
on a couple Zooms
Yeah,
with you during the
We did,
pandemic.
we did great, man. We were
Yeah,
active.
Deon was leading the charge on a
And
I
it
thought-
wasn't even entertainment stuff. It was politics.
Just,
for the
yeah,
most
I
part.
think all
Yeah.
of us, you and me and Killer Mike
Yeah.
and
Yeah, it was great,
and
man.
Tamika Mallory. Well, I think we all just everybody knew something big is gonna come out of
That's
this.
right.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
we just wanted to be a part of whatever was going to be on the other side. That was going to be financially beneficial or even just culturally beneficial.
right.
And I think in our own way, everybody did. You know what I mean?
A lot of people didn't make it to the other side.
Yeah.
I'm saying that physically as well as mentally.
Mentally, yeah.
A lot of people did not make that jump.
Y'all show that in the movie.
Yeah.
Some people wanted to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Some of the motherfuckers around them just wasn't, they just wouldn't let it happen, would they? I ain't gonna say too much.
I wanted to ask you, Deon, how important is like just mentorship? Like, who taught you? Like, you giving the game to people, but who taught you?
You know what? I wasn't taught. And I think that's what really helps me to be who I am today, because it was so hard for us for 17 years. Every time we went somewhere, somebody tell you no, you don't know how to actually do something, so you have to learn on your own. And I just remember, man, 2-3 times having a metaphysical death in my life where I'm like, damn, man, like I thought I was doing this right, but I collapsed. And later on in life, I ended up meeting Robert Smith, who became a real mentor to me. But I was already on the move, and he already seen that. But yeah, that's
The
why
richest black man in America, too, by
yeah,
the way.
but that's why I just come from a place, man, of like, man, we could just show and educate. And I know that's not normal, but we already said, man, the game is to be sold, not told. And I've always been like, no, man, you get a game away for free so we can learn and move forward. That's the bottom line. You know what I mean? It should not be this thing where it's only one. And we've had this conversation. I've seen Kevin Hart have it. I've seen T.I. have it. Terrence have it. That's a reality right now. It's only one. You know what I mean? And it's like, man, how do we get past that? And then how do we also celebrate people that's actually winning, man? We was talking about Joe Sikora, 50 Cent on the way over here, because Joe is a really big part of this film. And I was just saying to myself, man, do you guys understand? We do as a culture. But do you understand what this man has done in television?
Talk about 50?
Yeah.
I don't think people understand.
They don't.
50 on his black dick wolf shit.
Yeah, but at the same time, why does the country not understand that? And then why is he still being in a position where he has to fight for what he
Networks, right?
Right? Like, this is real, man.
No,
What we're
'cause I
talking
think it's no
about.
value in black content.
Yeah,
We value it, but I don't think
but we
It's
are
value
we are
when
the
it's in
value.
somebody else's hands.
True.
They try to devalue it when we own our own content.
Well, his numbers is
value.
better. His numbers is better than every other show
That's real.
on the network. So what does that mean?
But that's also why it's up to us, like everything that we're talking about, because obviously 50's been a mentor, and I've said a million times, I'll say it 1,000,001 times, 50 changed my life by the opportunities that he's always provided to me. But then you'll see people be like, oh, she did Power, now she on BMF, she just do everything where 50's at. First of all, I'm loyal, and second of all, like, this man provided me so many
Absolutely, you're
opportunities, so
supposed to be doing
that's
that.
who I'm
Yeah,
going
what
to
you
stick
talking
with.
about?
I'm going to stick
criticize
with
it.
it.
Adam
Sandler,
It's like
do that for years.
it's like you're mad about that, or that's not the right thing, but some other person gives me opportunity. Yeah, you should go do that. You should go do that,
No,
because
man,
like
this is it.
T.I. just said, it's value when we give it to
Right.
somebody else, but
Yeah.
when we have it, it's just it's not value.
Man, they criticize you till they copy you.
There you go.
That's real. No, what Tip said makes a lot of sense, because I'm thinking about like somebody like Norman Lear.
Right.
You know what I mean?
If Norman Lear called you every time, no one would say anything.
Yeah.
Not as
Judd
true.
Apatow.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah,
what I'm
that's
saying?
right.
I would be
100%.
praised everywhere.
Yeah.
Now you did say something that you said they would you say they copy you to
They
what?
criticize you till they copy you.
Now they tried to copy your daughter in her girl group.
Uh-oh.
They tried to take that
That's
culture.
crazy.
I mean,
When
try.
did you realize that was a copy? As soon as you first saw it, did you say, that's my daughter's group?
Nah, man, that's something. Really, man, that's my wife. Like that's Tamika. She, that was her brainchild, her baby, and it was brought to her attention, I believe, by some fans. A fan page, kind of like inquire. Hey, is this y'all?
I thought about it when I saw it.
As soon as you saw it the first time?
Yeah, when I thought about it, I went around. I was like, well, no, ain't that T.I. and Tiny Group, the OMG girl? Yeah, I thought the same thing.
But I mean, I don't spend a lot of time around little girl dolls too tough.
I got 4 daughters.
I know it, man. But you know what? I think it was one of them was gifted for Aries. And I think that's when Tamika was like, look, this what I was talking about. But I mean, man, I'm real, regardless of how it shake out, bro, I'm going to just tell you, I'm proud as hell of her and my daughter for even, rolling their sleeves up and, and going all the way with it. You did? Because this is so many times creatives in the community, man, they see they see travesties of justice like this, and they just go with the flow and roll with it. And you know what I'm saying? These independent black women are standing up against this billion-dollar company and saying, nah, y'all ain't gonna take our shit. You know what I mean? And I respect that.
Most people feel like we don't have enough money to go back at them, so let's just lay
it's
down.
a grip now. We millions in. I ain't even gonna cap you down. It's millions, multiples, even to get this far. You know what I'm saying? And who knows where we would be if we weren't fortunate enough or able to fight the fight that we've been blessed to be able to fight. But I had the utmost faith that God will have the last say so.
Hey, man, Florida just got $82 million. Florida just got $82 million.
What happened with that?
Say he was an endorser of the product, and I don't know.
I think he invested in it as well. It was
He was
something.
an investor and endorser, and he was supposed to get, I believe, allegedly some shares. He didn't get it.
Yeah, that's what.
So I think the amount was like 32,000 in some shares, but they wound up awarding him 82 million.
It became $1 billion company. I never even heard of that energy drink till Florida started talking about it. I heard about it because of Flo.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
But the thing is, though, this is a little bit different, right? Because Flo actually had an agreement, with the company. This company here, I think their whole thing is founded on, why would we want to do business with these guys? Listen to the language they use. Look at, we don't want to be associated with that.
We just want to steal from the culture.
And that's I say, well, I'm thinking, well, there's your motive. You know what I'm saying? So you wanted our ideas, but you didn't want to be associated with us for whatever reason. Yeah. So that's why you didn't come and fairly license legally and partner with us like you would anyone. And the thing is, that company ain't no angels. They ain't no angels. They self. And I'm a firm believer. Let he without sin cast the first stone. I'm not perfect, but I'm a lot better than I was. You know what I'm saying? And I think you don't have to do business with Tip to do business with the girls. Right. You did. Right. And if you like it enough to put it on a box and design something after it to sell it, then why not cut these girls in on whatever the growth is of whatever the proceeds is? I just think, man, it's terrible that you can still do this in America. You know what I'm saying? But you can't unless you got the means to fight.
That's right. I was thinking too, Tip. Who's mentoring the young rappers in Atlanta? Because you talk about your growth and your evolution, and I feel like brothers like you who made the transition from the streets, to corporate America, got to give these young brothers some game. Because it feels like they just throwing it all away.
I'm always here, bro. You know what I'm saying? I'm always here. I always try and make myself available whenever I can, and I believe that the mentorship is, it's present. It's present, man. You got institutions of culture like Grand Hustle, QC. You got free bands. You got street execs. It's a lot. So deaf. You got a lot of OGs that that reach back and still make sure that the conversations are being had. You got Killer Mike. You got CeeLo. Yeah, of course, Jeezy. Everybody does our part to make sure that if there's some information that a young man or a young lady needs, that they know where to find it. Places like the Gathering Spot, places like the Trap Music Museum, places like Trap City Cafe, where you just show up and just happen to see somebody. Hey man, how do you, like a person like pulled up to the cafe or like, how do I copyright my music if I can't really afford a lawyer? And I was like, man, you know, I just used to, I don't know if they still do it like this, but I just used to put my demo in the mail and mail it to myself.
That's old school.
That's old school.
I don't know if that really works.
My mama,
Hey
to
man,
yourself.
I teach the way I would talk. You know what I'm saying? If you, I mean,
That's
but
what it is.
that's what I learned. You know.
Let me ask you a question.
Go ahead.
This is a question for you too.
Into the mic, Deon.
And you, this is interesting. Could you when you name Killer Mike, yourself, QC, all these different brands, organizations that has pioneered rap, could you unionize hip hop? Like, is there a real way to actually delegate this brand, because it is a
Like build a board
it's
and
a
all that.
multi-billion-dollar a year business, and you have these pioneers, right? So, is there a way to actually unionize hip hop?
Wasn't somebody trying to do that?
They've been trying to do it for
Yeah,
so
yeah.
many. So 20,
But why they
30 years.
trying? What I'm saying is, you could actually do that.
I think it should be done, and the reason not only for that, for conversation and growth, but also think about all the artists that get older in age.
That's what I'm saying,
and
with a
then,
pension. Yeah,
don't
yeah.
have health care.
Yeah.
Or, don't have the finances
That's
that
right.
they need.
That's
don't
right.
have retirement. I mean, I think that would be a great
I
thing
guess you'd
to
have
do.
to look at other industries to see how they did it, because that's out of my spectrum of education. I guess you'd have to look at like the film industry and see how they did it way
Yeah,
back in the day.
because those old artists have nothing.
Right.
Right? Like, they've been used through the system, through the studios, through
Some
the
of them don't own their music. They
nothing.
don't own, and their records get sampled.
So they
get
gotta
all that
wait
money,
for the
right?
they gotta wait for the 50-year hip hop to get a check. Right? So that's crazy, man. Like, you should, as smart as you are, man, you should dive into that.
I mean, bro, I hear you. It takes participation. You know what I mean? Everybody got to be, willing to come together, and I see most of the time our people, if it ain't our idea, you know what I'm saying? If we didn't think of it first, like, a lot of time people don't really want to participate, collectively. But it is a phenomenal idea.
And it's gonna be resentment to the artists who aren't doing well. But then, why should I work with the artist that is doing well? Why,
But then you just build it without them.
yeah,
Right?
Yes,
I mean,
yeah.
you don't get in, right? So, anyway, that's interesting. We just
Yeah, because you got to
hearing
pay
that.
your dues for after, so it's the same thing. You pay your dues yearly, and then when things happen, you get health insurance, you get retirement.
We need
you get all
that.
Yeah,
We
absolutely.
need that right now.
I'm with it.
Yeah, we need that.
I was gonna ask you, Deon, as a director, because I know y'all gotta go. Do you think of the audience when you making these films? Like, a black person wouldn't do that. Black person wouldn't run in that room and there's screaming going on in there. You know what I mean? Black person ain't staying in this house.
so.
You know?
That's all I think about.
I hope
I'm actually an audience first director, which obviously the track record of movies I've made. But yeah, you have to actually I think that's what makes me a little different, is that I'm not trying to appease anyone else but the audience that I'm making that film for, and also grounded it in something that's authentic and real. Like, even like Fear, like having all these guys, these are all alpha males. Joe Sikora, Tip, you know what I mean? Terrence, Batch. Yeah, man, we're trying to like
Alpha females.
and alpha females as
I
well.
don't even know what that
And-
term means. I be seeing all the alpha males I see be getting in a whole lot of trouble. What does alpha male mean?
Well, I mean, they're leaders. They're
Okay.
guys
Got
that
you,
are in the
got you.
front that
Got you.
normally are leading a situation or their group. If I didn't know them, and I know you got a group of guys you hang around, they would be the leaders of that group.
I got you.
You know what I mean? So
Yeah, I always say, man, if I worked at McDonald's, I'd be the baddest fry man. Be the coolest motherfucker you see. You did.
But yeah, we want to make the movies for the audience, and this weekend when this movie comes out, I think people will have a really, really good time watching it.
Yeah,
and that's
and
what the first priority is.
We're so excited, and it's about, we said, participation, showing up, supporting,
Absolutely.
watching the movie, tweeting about it, talking
right.
about it, so that we can spread the word and really, get some real numbers out there to be able to continue doing this. Is so important.
Absolutely.
What is success? What is success for this movie? Like, what would it have to do opening weekend? to
We
be
already
considered a success?
we already won.
Yeah.
We already won.
We finished the movie.
Yeah,
We
and
didn't
also
know. I didn't think we were gonna finish. I ain't
yeah,
gonna
but
lie to
also
you.
putting
Nobody
the movie
caught
into,
COVID.
No, we didn't. And
Putting
we
the
put
movie in theaters
By
is
herself.
a huge win.
Wow.
You know,
Huge
this
win.
many screens, doing that independently, and then having so many opportunities for windows after this, right? So after this, then there'll be the streaming window, then there'll be another tier. So we'll be able to profit, you know, off of this for international. So there's a lot of upside as long as we all support it.
As well as the, you know, the learning and the wisdom and the experience that comes with producing next to someone who's done it so many times before. Terrence and I, we just like, hey man, so what this mean? How you doing?
For me, it's like a master class.
It's great, man. It's great, and this is new for me as well in terms of releasing this wide. So we've put out movies on our own and won, but this is a wide release. So we're actually we've beat studio movies a bunch, but this one's gonna do great, man. Like I said, we're in the system right now where, you know, you're watching some of these mega films make $2, $3, $4 million that have 50 million, 60 million in. So we know Fear gonna come and do that, which means we already beat most of these films anyway.
Gotcha.
But what I love about what we're doing with Fear is, which is actually very present in this room right now, which is the power of reinvention. See, part of the system that we're in right now as Black people, we're scared to reinvent ourselves. So the minute that you step out of whatever lane you've been running in, everybody always make a joke about it.
That's right.
You know, I was talking to Tip, like his comedy, like why can't he do comedy, right? Terrence went from hosting to now acting. Look at you, multi-hyphenate, acting, hosting, building, company owner, you book, right? Like, we have to get to a place, man, where we're not scared to reinvent ourselves or learn something different. And for Fear, for me, it was like, man, let me show Tip and Terrence and Joseph and everybody else, myself and Roxanne, like really get on the box and be like, let me show y'all how this works at the highest level. Here's how you can compete and create Warner Brothers or New Line or Lionsgate. And that's exactly what we're doing right now.
Two other questions. One, break down how y'all make money on planes, right? Because the majority of the movies
planes?
I see on the plane. But how do they record that? How do y'all make money off of that? Because the planes, every movie's on the plane before it gets to most of the time where you can actually purchase that. So how does that work?
That's a window. So basically, a movie opens and then it's the same with a hotel. So you ever go like
but
travel?
It's a hotel, you pay for it in a hotel.
Yeah, but where the plane is actually paying for it as well.
Licensing, right?
They're going to license from you.
Gotcha.
But all those deals that we're talking about in film, those are deals that you could only make if you own the IP.
Gotcha.
Right? So when you look at these movies, you're talking about, for instance, Top Gun, right? Or Avatar. Those movies are making $300-400 million here, and then they open overseas and they're at $700-800-900 million, $2-3 billion. Well, that's only the theatrical experience. Now, understand that that's what that made in front of the theater. Now, when it goes downstream, what's downstream? Planes, hotels, cable, first window buys. It'll keep on selling.
Gotcha.
TV1,
TV.
BET.
When it gets to TV1 and BET,
USA.
you run down the line, right? And now you just resell it again.
Wow.
So it just keeps making money over and over again. Same way we watching all these old movies, you know, that what's the Eddie Murphy movie?
Coming to America.
Life.
That's always
Life. Right? So you imagine how much money that is, man, if you're a studio and you just keep licensing that through systems.
But for real, most of the time, though, you know, the IPs are held under the big studios. So some, you know, the airlines or whoever's responsible for doing the licenses for the airlines would just go to that like a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
They go and do a deal with Warner Brothers or do a deal with Universal or do a deal with Lionsgate, and they get all of the library.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean?
And the last time I saw you, Tip, you was at the Operation Hope Forum in Atlanta. Salute to our guy John Hope Bryant, and you was talking about your development that you was
Complex,
finishing.
that's
Your
right.
Complex.
Yeah,
Apartment complex.
Entrada. Entrada is my first development, affordable housing on Bankhead, a property I bought about 5 years ago, 8.5 acres, partnered with the city, along with, you know, some private equity as well. And, you know, we got 143 units,
Congrats.
some retail space at the bottom. Right now, man, you know, we're about to cut the ribbon later on this year, but I'm looking for a tenant. I need a grocery store because it's a food desert over there in the area. I need a grocery store and a drugstore for a pharmacy. You know what I'm saying, for the people in the area, because, you know, some people don't have cars and they got to drive, you know, way, up the street, right, on the other side of town just to get their prescriptions filled. And a bank. We need a central bank.
I think it's important to speak to how they view us sometime, right? Because if I'm not mistaken, you had a grocery store there, but they pulled out because they thought we'd be stealing or something.
Well, it ain't that. Nah, it ain't really that they thought we'd be bad. And they right. You know what I'm saying?
They're right.
Theft will occur. Because it's just such a what they say is the growth of the community has not matured to a place. They got to look at they overhead and expenses that it costs them to operate, and how much people in the area presumably can afford to pay. So they need some subsidization, some coming from the city, some kind of rent consideration. But we need some people that could work with us just simply because the neighborhood, the community needs it.
Right.
Yeah, anybody who done been in the Bankhead area, and it's growing. Microsoft up the street, and Bill Gates needs somewhere to go buy a bagel, man. You know what I'm saying? So you may as well just come on in and work with some people that want to really, really fill the void in the community.
So how do they reach out to you? Somebody listening to this, they're like, I got the grocery store for you. I got the pharmacy.
Okay, absolutely. You want to talk to Crystal Peterson at Dynasty Realty or Dynasty Brokerage, and she can connect all the dots. You can talk to people at Entrada. You know what I'm saying? And you can pull up on me, and I definitely make sure you get on the phone to get in front of who you need to talk to get it going.
Word.
Last question. Dubai.
Uh-oh.
You got a chance to see Beyonce perform.
Looked amazing.
There was no cameras. Supposed to be no cameras there.
Look how Charlamagne looking at you. Look how he looking at you. He
want to talk about it.
He want to know what's
So
happening,
break
man.
down that performance. That's 70 what? 4
I just saw
million.
T was Neil Long. I was like,
$24 million. You Neil Long watching Beyonce go.
No.
I saw you with Neil Long.
A bunch of different
Did you go there with
celebrities.
Neil Long?
No,
You sure you didn't go there with Neil Long?
I seen you watching.
You got in a fly ass ride
Where's the
share with
main
him.
cameras? It's the main camera. I did not
He did
go
lick Jessica
with
Lange's
Neil
leg.
Long at
did.
all. Stop.
sorry.
No, a bunch of celebrities went out there, right? Neil Long is a friend, a bunch of friends. We're all out there. We're hanging out. Incredible performance. This is the biggest launch in the world. They launched this hotel, the Royal Atlantis. Nobu launched it, a new restaurant. It was incredible. We all went out there. Beyonce looked amazing. She looked impeccable.
looked amazing.
Voice. Obviously, Blue Ivy came out. All the vibes were there. A very theatrical performance. So this wasn't single ladies dancing type Beyonce. This was Halo Beyonce,
Yeah.
right?
Grown
Very classy.
Beyonce, it seemed
Very,
like.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So the outfits and the wardrobe was masterful. She came out. She went on this little platform. Had the wind and the water hitting her. It was amazing. You know what I'm saying?
Water
It was-
hitting her?
Yeah, they had these sprinklers hitting her. There was fire. There was
What?
fireworks
Fireworks.
coming off of the building.
What songs did she sing?
No, I mean she went through a lot of her catalog, but not as many of the upbeat, more of the the emotional. You know what I mean? People were
Right.
tearing up in the audience. Very emotional Beyonce performance. Everybody was out there. It was a vibe.
I only had one question when I seen it. Why not 25 million? Like,
The number was reflective of not just the payment to her, but it was a whole production around it. You know what I mean?
Around
that's
number
like-
24?
Yeah. So this.
So
this
it's $24 million all in. Remember we said that was all
Yeah.
in.
I thought it was like $1 million an hour.
And I don't even
for
think
a
that was
day,
a number.
you know what I'm
I
saying?
think the number was actually more. I think like the bigger number was somewhere around 45 million. Like it's the biggest launch. They wanted to outdo the original Atlantis
That's
launch,
somebody
which
you
was
can honestly
the
say,
biggest
man,
one at the time.
she deserved that.
Absolutely.
She worked her ass off
course.
all throughout the year, man.
100%.
And when you see Beyonce, you gonna get a show.
Yes.
So
It's
like
worth
it's certain
every
people we
penny.
just happy to see
That's
those
right.
types of numbers go to.
And you
know what I
expect
mean? Absolutely.
And when
Yeah.
somebody
And
else is
back-
like, man, why I can't get 24 million? Because you
'Cause
got
you ain't
Beyonce.
Beyonce,
It's just
motherfucker.
that simple.
But yo, back to the Neil Long question. We have to celebrate our queens. We have to make sure when they step
with
out,
you.
when
Whatever
we
you wanna
see,
call it, Terrence.
when I see, when I see
Doors.
Gabrielle Union, Niecy Nash, Megan Good, like we gotta celebrate our icons. You know what I'm saying? Lala will tell you. I don't
nigga
care
good.
where I see.
He is.
Like,
He
I will deflect to my
Did
sister
y'all
any
fly
day
there
of the week.
together?
What?
didn't know. I'm asking, Terrence. I'm asking you, Terrence. You y'all flew on the plane together. I'm asking.
Man, no.
Shout out to me, man. I
told
love
Mario
Mario.
staying there to throw everybody off. I know what the hell going
You
on.
told Marion to not come.
Ladies and gentlemen, fear this week. January 27th. And Terrence Long is the brother.
No. You want to celebrate it, you got to be Terrence Long. I'm not celebrating them. No. I'll be There's nothing wrong with being Terrence Long.
I got something. This is it. This is over.
This is over.